Okay, now that we are armed, we need a plan. So, you two, do you guys have one?
I'm going through the front gate.
Are you serious?
If he wants me, he's not gonna kill me right away. That gives you two a chance to save Dusty and get out.
Wait, he's right. If we give himself to the raiders, we can walk in the back or something, find the filly, and get out.
Listen, Stone, you don't...
I'm gonna be fine. I know my father. He probably has something already. Nails sighed and shook his head.
Fine. Don't die as soon as we get her. We're gonna come back for you.
We both smiled, and we started to walk back down the tunnel.
So, what's your name again?
Her name is Dusty Storm.
Strong name for a filly.
Yep. She's very, how do you put it? Let's just say cocky. We all walked through the old city, carefully looking around for any traps or trouble. The city itself was quiet. There were no sounds of ponies. However, the wind was blowing softly. I walked, thinking about how I was gonna save Dusty and help. My friends get inside. Nail was silent, so was Pumpkin, levitating his guns and checking them out after a few more minutes. Walking inside the town, Stone hid behind a wall looking at the grate. There it is. I don't know if this is gonna work as we planned, but we have to try.
Stone. Careful, okay?
Keep your eye out. Me and Nails are gonna go around the place and find a way in.
Thanks. And Pumpkin, you're a good friend. The ghoul smirked and nodded as he and Nails looked at each other and nodded. I nodded and started to walk slowly towards the metal gate, and a raider pointed a gun at me.
Well, Master Sky will love to know that you came back, asshole. Oh, and that filly? I had fun with her last night.
I frowned and stopped in front of the gate, and it opened slowly. I walked in once again, thinking to myself, welcome home, Stone Mud. Welcome home. The gate slowly opened, and 5 raiders stood in front of the gate, looking at me, grinning, and others laughing.
Hello, Stone. Welcome home, little Stone. Your daddy's waiting for you, along with your little filly.
Nice stuff you got there. Who'd you kill to get that, huh? Forget it. It's mine now. Drop it.
Listen, Smoke. I'm not giving you shit. The raider groans and shoots near my hoof and aims at me again.
Do I look like I'm playing, asshole? Drop all your shit.
I sighed, taking my gear off and throw it in front of him.
Good. Now come in, Stony. Your dad wants to have a word with you.
I walked in. Everything was dark. There were no lights. The 2 raiders led me through the darkness as I crossed another gate. The 2 raiders chuckled and closed it behind me. 3 reflectors went on, lighting the place. I was inside some kind of huge cage, full of body parts around it. Inside was another raider, locked in chains around his neck, and he was drooling. And behind the cage, sitting down on a chair, was my father with a calm smile. You sick bastard. Where is Dusty?
Stone, Stone, Stone. Look what you made me do. I did all of this just for you. You want her back? You're gonna have to fight for it. Isn't that how they do it in the pit? Fighting for their freedom. I want to see what you're made of. Release him!
They unlocked the chains, and the raiders cheered and clapped their hooves on the floor, screaming, "Kill him! Smash his head! Cut his head! Fight! Fight! Fight!" I took a step back as the huge pony walked towards me, grinning and drooling.
You're mine!
Over my dead body, you sick son of a mule! The raiders throw a few melee weapons, such as batons, knives, and metal bars. The huge pony grabbed a metal bar on his mouth and looked at me, drooling with the metal in his mouth.
Time to die!
He muffled and ran over to me, I ran over to him as well, and Tank swings the metal bar, but I slid under the huge pony, grabbing a baton in my mouth, and the raiders cheer in amusement.
What's going on inside there?
I don't know, Smooth Colt, but that gave us a chance. Let's go inside now.
Nails nodded and kicked a wooden plank as the huge boulder fell on the other side, lifting the wall. Nails looked at Pumpkin and grinned.
Oh, I didn't know you were smart. Nice trick. Let's go now. We are wasting time.
They walked inside, carefully looking around the camp. No raiders could be seen in the area.
That's weird. Should be raiders guarding this place. What is... Oh no.
As he looked from behind the building, he saw the old arena.
Fuck. Look, we need to find the kid.
We can't leave him here. Are you crazy? He'll die.
It's not like we have a choice. Do you see how many raiders are out there?
Nails groans and throws his hat on the floor and kicked the hat to the side, tearing a bit.
I knew this. Fucking plan wouldn't work.
You're wrong. It worked. He's distracting them and we can save her.
And who's gonna save him?
I don't know. But let's find the filly first, and then we'll think on something, okay?
The ghoul levitates his hat and puts it on Nails' head again and smiles at him. Nails sighed and shook his head and fixed the hat and nodded.
Hang in there, Stone. We're coming back for you. I promise.
I jumped to the side as the huge pony missed every swing of the metal bar.
Stop moving, you little bitch!
I pulled out a dash from his armor pocket and looked at the huge pony and smirked as I took a long pull. I started to cough and my eyes shrink, and I laughed. I grabbed a branch on the floor and looked at him. You wanted a raider? You have one now.
Huh?
I ran really fast and hit Tank on the face, breaking his muzzle, and jumped on his back and started to hit his head over and over again. The raiders cheer as Sky nods at the raider that smiled and pointed the gun at my side and shot me. The huge raider finally uses his horn to levitate me against the wall. He coughs and blood leaks down from the side of his body.
Does it hurt, little pony? I will end your pain.
I spit blood on his face. Go to hell.
I'm already in hell.
With a ton of force, he stabbed me with a metal bar. It goes clean through my body and the other side of the metal wall. He screamed in my face and let go of me. I hang there to the metal wall as the raiders, cheering, screaming, and shaking the cage. Sky was sitting on his chair, clapping his hooves and drinks of beer. Some slaves went into shock, others didn't look. Nails stopped.
Something's wrong. Something happened.
Nails and Pumpkin were walking upstairs on the highest building in the camp, looking for Dusty, and they heard a scream and rushed at a half-open door. Nails slammed the door open and went wide-eyed, looking at the raider ready to rape the poor filly. Pumpkin, levitating his 2 pistols, opens fire at the raider, making holes all over his body, and he falls on his side, dead. Dusty shakes and tears up. She sees Nails, and he runs over to her and cut the ropes off her with the raider's combat knife and hugged Dusty tightly.
It's okay, baby girl. We got you. Shh, it's okay. It's okay.
The filly holds him tight, tearing and shaking, and Nails holds her closer. Pumpkin walked over to the dead raider and kicked his body.
I hate rapists. They deserve worse.
Stone is...
She was shocked and sobbing, pointing at the window.
Stone is what? What are you...
He walks over to the window, observing that horrible scene. Seeing me, stuck on the wall, hanging and bleeding.
No!
The raiders looked up the building and grabbed their guns and rushed inside. Others started to shoot. and Pumpkin pulled Nails out of the window as bullets cut through the air. Nails curls on the floor and tears up.
What are we gonna do? Nails, Nails, get up.
I can't. Go without me.
You! No!
The filly slaps his face and yells.
Get up! We're not dying here! He saved our lives! So you better get up, Nails! I don't want to lose you too! I don't want to be alone anymore! Please! Get up!
Nails looked at the filly and fixed his hat getting up as the raiders rushed up the stairs. He just walked towards the door, holding the mouth grip from his battle saddle. He lifted his hat up, looking at the door, and starts to shoot the bullets, making holes in the door, destroying it as raiders fall down the stairs and others cut in half by the blast of Nails' gun. I was hanging on the wall, blood coming out of my mouth and dripping from the wall as Tank tries to get out the cage, seeing the gunfire. The voices were low. Everyone was screaming next to my head. I'm here, dying, while better ponies out there fighting to make the wasteland a little better. Your father was right, Stone. You are a useless bastard. Dying like this? Seeing all of your friends die? Nails, Pumpkin, Dusty. I'm never gonna be able to help her. See her grow up. She's gonna be a brave mare. Get up, damn it! Not now. You can do it. Come on. I slowly opened my eyes to see ponies running and shooting. I saw my father shooting at my friends as well. I groaned and moved my hoof, grabbing the metal bar. My heart was still pounding hard from the dash. I started to pull, but it was stuck firmly into the wall. I groaned and put my hind legs against the wall and pushed myself off the bar and fell to the floor. Bleeding and panting, I looked around, coughing and bleeding from the wounds. I started to crawl as Tank looked at me, wide-eyed, and groaned. As Sky looked at me, shocked.
How the fuck are you still alive? Not for long!
I slowly stood up, trembling. Tank snorted and started to run over to me. Dusty went wide-eyed as she saw the huge shadow moving faster towards the cage, killing the raider, then running towards the cage. The huge Timberwolf jumps on top of the cage, biting the bars and getting inside. Tank stopped and looked at the Timberwolf shaking, and he stepped back. Sky falls from the chair and also stepped back. The Timberwolf looked at me, and then back at Tank. He grunts as the green glow from his body and eyes grow and smoke come out of his nose and mouth. Tank runs, banging on the cage walls.
Open this thing! Now! Get me out of here! Ah!
The Timberwolf bites his torso, breaking his spine and more bones. He shakes Tank's body like a toy, side to side, as his body ripped in two. His body started to melt on the floor from the high radiation levels. The huge creature walked over to me, no longer glowing, and stood in front of me. I raised a hoof as it touched his muzzle against my hoof. It walked to and jumped through the hole he made and grabbed me gently with his mouth as he pulls me out of the cage. A rocket launcher fires and both creature and me fall on the floor.
Gotcha!
Nails runs down the stairs with Dusty and Pumpkin and slams the front door as raiders shoot at them. Pumpkin screams loud and makes a shield as the bullets hit the magic wall and fall on the floor. Pumpkin, levitating the double-barrel shotgun, blasts the raiders. Dusty runs to the side and levitated a machine gun and started to fire as well. Nails bit down on the trigger, shooting at the raiders. Raiders fall dead on the floor. As Pumpkin pushes forward, the raiders start to fall back. Sky, standing away from the building, aims the rocket launcher at them and fires the missile. Pumpkin looked at the incoming missile and pushed Dusty and Nails to the side, rolling on the floor with them as it blows up the building behind them.
We need to take him out.
Stone!
God damn it, Nails. Dusty, go after him.
The filly salutes and runs after him and stops looking at the huge timberwolf. Slowly breathing, Nails looked at it, and the creature looked back at him and moved his big paw, showing me underneath it, breathing.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, calm down. He needs a healing potion. I mean, a lot of them.
I don't think I have it.
She runs over the main building, looking around in boxes after boxes, and she finds a medical box. She bites down on it and runs over to them. The filly opened it and passed the purple potion to Nails. He grabbed them and opened my mouth and poured the liquid in my mouth. I closed my eyes and drank it, feeling the healing on my body. Dusty grabbed another potion and gave it to him.
I'm glad you're alive. I thought you...
It's okay. Don't worry.
Right. Can you get up?
With help. Yes, I can. The Timberwolf got up limping and looked at them. I stood up and smiled. A big, loud explosion rang out. Then it became silent. I looked at Sky, and Sky looked down at me in the building and grinned, holding Pumpkin. No! Let him go! It's me you want!
Don't be stupid.
Why are you doing all this? You enjoy giving ponies hell? Look around. Look at what you've done. All of this, for nothing. Ponies dying slowly for building a better Equestria? I hope Red Eye takes these words and shoves it up his tail hole. We deserve a chance to be free, not stuck here working for some sort of bastard that thinks he can do better by slaving for making the world a better place. Even you. You are being slaved this whole time. You're nothing but an instrument for him to be used to do his dirty work. Sky throws Pumpkin aside, making me fall. Nails tries to shoot him, but the Ripper was fast and punched him in the face and slammed him against the wall.
I'm not like any of you slaves, scum that lurks the wasteland.
He kept punching Nails. He started to levitate the sledgehammer from his back, but a bullet hit him in the hind hoof.
Hey, tough guy. Forgot about me? Ha!
The Ripper screamed and ran over to her and tries to hit her, but she blocked it with her machine gun. I looked at Nails and nodded, and he nodded back. He held the apple grenade and pulled the pin and he threw it. The filly smiled and slid under Sky, but he bit her tail. The apple grenade exploded next to them, sending Sky and Dusty flying. And then they hit the ground hard. Dusty coughed and Sky screamed, having one hoof blown off. He gets up and holds the hammer and goes to hit her, but Nails jumps on top of the filly, taking the hits, screaming in pain as Sky, smiling, hits over and over again. Nails' bones and spine break from the sledgehammer. As I get up and grab a bloody baseball bat on the floor from a dead raider and ran over to Sky screaming and hit him, cracking his skull. And he falls as I hit him over and over again. Blood spilled on my face, hit after hit. I caved Sky's head in with a baseball bat, his skull shattered in multiple places, brain matter all over the bat and around them. I cried as Pumpkin pulled him off Sky.
He's dead. That's enough.
I looked at Nails with broken limbs on top of the filly that is shaking and crying with blood on her chest. Nails. I sat down and slowly flipped him, laying him on his lap as Nails opened his eyes, smiling. blood comes from his mouth.
You did it. You killed him. Good job. Fuck. Stone. I'm dying.
No. You can't, damn it. You promised we'd stay together. You promised me.
Stone. I know, but there's nothing you can do. Please forgive me.
The filly cried and sobbed.
It's all my fault. You're going to die and it's all because of me.
It ain't your fault. I wanted to save you so you can grow up and be happy. Be free.
I was tearing up, looking down at him. I can't do it without you. Nails gently raised a hoof and pulled his face down, kissing me softly. I went wide-eyed, blushing, then closed my eyes and kissed back, crying as tears ran down my face.
I love you, Stone. I always did. I want you to take care of our good little girl.
He pressed his forehead against mine.
Promise me, whatever happens, you're gonna be by her side. Promise me.
I sobbed and pressed my face against his chest, crying. I promise. I will. She hugs his hoof, and Nails smiles. A hoof lifts my head, and Nails nuzzles my cheek, and puts his hat on my head, and kisses me again. And I put a hoof around him, and I held him, slowly kissing back, as Nails slowly closed his eyes, losing his grip as I stopped kissing him, and held him close, crying and sobbing, as the day comes showing the destroyed camp. The silence, as only my sobs could be heard, as slaves and a few raiders come out walking over, staring at us, looking around, not knowing what to do. They just stood there, watching Pumpkin put a hoof on my shoulders, and looked at me. It's been years that I've known Nails, and years that we've spent together, but I never knew where he was from. I never wanted to ask because somehow I was afraid to ask him. But one day, when me and him was laying on the couch as he was sleeping, laying his head on my side, I had the courage to ask, "Nails, I've been thinking about something." He slowly moved his head up and looked at me with those eyes, confused, or maybe scared of it. It was kind of hard to tell.
Yes? What is it?
Well, I was wondering where you were from and why you're alone. He looked away for a few minutes and then let a long, soft sigh out and looked at me again.
I guess you deserve to know. I mean, it's been a while. We've been friends and all. So I guess I can tell you.
He lay his head on my side again, looking at me, and started to tell.
Every pony in my family lives by trading. My mom and dad walked around the wasteland, selling and trading for almost anything. Sometimes they do a few deliveries and stuff. Me, I was the young one, and the only kid from the family. I was in every trip they went to. I've been pretty much everywhere around the wasteland.
Wow, that's really cool. I wish I had a family like that to keep going.
My mother's name was Cloud. She was the most intelligent in our family, and my dad was called Sharp. He took care of the guns and ammunition. He was also the one who used to pull me in a wooden wagon I always loved to ride when I was a kid. My family wasn't the rich type. They just love to trade because it's something they started getting attached to, and it was with them for the rest of their life. But one day, my father made a deal with some griffins, and he couldn't afford it on the end. They wanted their caps back, but my father already used the caps to buy a few other things. That's when they saw me, and they wanted to take me instead as a slave, and
I could see the tears sliding down his cheeks. Nails was crying while telling me the story.
they shot my father first. And then I saw him laying on the floor, bleeding by my mother's side. She tried to help him. The griffins just shoot her as well. I closed my eyes. I couldn't even. Family.
I started to rest up, and I brought him close to a hug. He sobbed. I could see the tears. I could feel his shakes. He was shaking. I pulled him closer, hugging him as tight as I possibly could. We both stood there hugging each other. I took his hat off and put his head under my chin. I was the only one that could be there for him now. I was everything for him. After a few minutes, he looked up to me. He was calm, and all my hooves was around him, keeping him close.
My mother, she said for me to run, and I've never stopped running. Didn't even look back to see the rest. Then, a week later, you found me. You took care of me, and you have been my family ever since that day. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much, Stone.
It's fine. I will do anything for you. You helped me enough to show that I'm not like them. You changed my life for something better. Something that I couldn't think of was possible. And thanks to you, Nails. Thank you. I smiled while stroking his mane, looking at the ceiling as tears started to come out. We laid there for a few hours. It was raining and cold, but you don't feel cold with a colt laying on top of you, hiding his head under your chin.
Stone? Are you awake? Aw, he's sleeping.
He leans over and gives a soft kiss on my lips and nuzzles against my chest.
Good night, Stone. I love you.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end, and you